Tonight we're going in depth on a bill that, if it becomes law, will change how things we vote for on a statewide vote, they're called state questions, get on the ballot in the first place. We've covered this bill before when it was in the state Senate, but now a huge change has been made by a state House committee that hopes to avert future lawsuits that could kill the bill if it becomes law. A bill already causing controversy at the state capitol underwent a major tweak on Monday.
This is one of the last measures we have for people to influence their voice in policy decisions at the grassroots level, and I urge a no vote. Thank you.
Speaker of the House Kyle Hilbert presented Senate Bill 1027 to the House Elections Committee. It's meant to crack down on the initiative petition process that allows citizens to put things up for a statewide vote.
A lot of conversation in the public and the media about the one person, one vote conversation. I believe that this amendment negates any of those potential arguments because it sets the same percentage for every county.
One of the key parts of the bill when it passed out of the state Senate that raised concerns was the fact that when it comes to signatures needed to get something on the ballot, if 1027 became law, signature collectors could only get 10% of what they need from Oklahoma County and another 10% from Tulsa County. The feeling of lawmakers representing rural communities is that big cities have been pushing their will on other parts of the state when it comes to things like Medicaid expansion and medical marijuana.
In the current system that we have, frankly, the voters that live further away from the metros are disenfranchised. They do not have an opportunity. They're not participating in the initiative petition process because, frankly, the signatures are just being gathered in the two metros.
Hilbert amended SB 1027 out of fear it violated the U.S. Supreme Court's one person gets one vote ruling that's been in place since the 1960s. Under the new SB 1027, there are now caps on how many signatures can be collected in all counties. The number of signatures depends on how many people in each county voted in the last gubernatorial election. If a group is trying to make a statutory change to state law, the number of signatures would be capped at 11.5% of that county's last vote. If a citizens group is trying to add an amendment to the state constitution, the number goes up slightly to 20.8% of that county's last vote for governor.
What this bill does is pretty much guarantee that any future citizen-led ballot initiative will have an impossibility of making it to the ballot.
Opponents say the changes don't matter. Those who live in Oklahoma City and Tulsa are still having their voices suppressed. Once the cap is reached, it will not matter how many want to sign. They simply can't. There are also concerns that 90 days to get signatures across the state in more rural areas isn't enough time. The Senate author of the bill, Durant Republican State Senator David Bullard, made the intentions of the bill well known and clear before it passed out of the Senate in a party line vote. Here is some of what he said.
Stand up against them and restore the republic you pledged to uphold. Stand, and I promise you're going to get called names. Kneel, and you will have blanket primaries, abortion on demand, and socialism your grandchildren can't afford.
Senators are concerned that more groups are gearing up for new state questions that go against what the Republican supermajority believes is best for the state. They are also concerned that rural counties have been left out when it comes to the forming of state questions. Now that the House has made changes to SB 1027, the Senate will have to vote on the bill again if it passes out of the full House. Now, there are ballot measures that are in the works right now. Some of them are controversial. Others are groups trying to make change. Your perspective on them depends on how you feel about the issues. A vote on a $15 an hour minimum wage is already set to happen next year. And there has always been talk about a statewide abortion rights vote, but no group has actually come forward with a proposal. One group is working to make our primary election similar to what is in place in California with what is called a jungle primary system with no parties. And as we reported last week, there is a group wanting a penny sales tax to better fund DHS. Now, some of you may feel like you want to reach out to your state lawmaker and let them know how you feel about these initiative petition changes. Here's what happened when one Oklahoman wrote the chairman of the House Elections Committee asking him to vote no on Senate Bill 1027. Sequoia County Republican State Representative Jim Olson replied with, quote, "If Oklahoma is so bad, why do you live here?"